doing on today?
Hey, officer, how are you?
What's going on today?
Officer, what's your name?
Barber.
Officer Barber. You're Quincy? I thought they called county.
They call both of us.
I'm just out here taking photos out in public, that's all.
The prison?
Yes, sir.
Are you taking,
Yeah, there's inmates right there. I saw them washing this vehicle.
are you taking pictures of?
I'm a journalist gathering content for stories. It's investigative journalism.
You got a ID on it?
What type of ID would you need?
Driver's license, any type of ID? What's your name and date of birth?
Well, let me explain to you. I'm standing on a public sidewalk, taking photos out in public.
And that's fine. I asked you for your ID.
I understand, but if I'm not being detained, I'm not going to produce any identification.
Well, sir, you need to move along there. Like you said, this is city property, so city right away.
What would happen if I don't move along?
You go to jail.
For what?
For what?
Yes.
Because I've actually moved along. You're taking pictures of a facility
Is that illegal?
From the very first exchange, the officer's tone sets the stage for an unnecessary escalation. Instead of approaching with professionalism and clarity, she responds with hostility, interrupting and dismissing lawful explanations. This immediately undermines public trust and shows a lack of respect for basic civil interaction. A citizen exercising a constitutional right is not required to tolerate insults or intimidation. When officers speak this way, they signal that ego has replaced duty. This encounter could have ended calmly if respect had been shown from the start.
We don't know if you're staging a breakout.
I'm not staging a breakout. I told you I'm a journalist gathering.
And then at this point, it's loitering because I asked you for ID and you can't produce it. You had to produce it. You're taking pictures of a facility that houses inmates.
Right. I've explained to you I'm an investigative journalist gathering content for
I
stories.
need your ID showing it.
And I have no obligation to prove to you who I am.
Yes, you do.
Look, if I'm not being detained, I'm gonna say,
have a nice day.
You have a nice day too. You're free to go.
13 and 109. If you could be in route, please.
Are you
that over there?
Are you trying to trespass me from a public sidewalk?
No, I'm asking you to walk along. Keep moving.
I'm not gonna keep moving. I got a job to do, so I'm out here to do my job. I appreciate if you didn't. I appreciate if you didn't interfere and obstruct my rights.
The individual clearly states he is standing on a public sidewalk and engaging in photography, an activity protected by the First Amendment. There is no crime articulated, no victim, and no specific suspicion beyond the officer's discomfort. Demanding identification without lawful detention contradicts basic constitutional principles. The repeated insistence on ID appears driven by control rather than law. This is a classic example of rights being challenged simply because they are asserted. Lawful activity does not become suspicious because an officer dislikes it.
Barber was 10 miles out with we lost connection with our caller. Quincy PD has a unit.
I'll go down there and see if they put the liquor store. I haven't been told to go down there. Oh, he got a scanner. That's why he know he's coming.
I'm a journalist. Journalists have scanners. Right? I mean, that's what journalists do. We have scanners. We know what's going on. This is constitutionally protected activity, safeguarded by the First Amendment. I have every right to do this.
You from Florida?
I'm not answering any questions.
Because if you're from Florida, you should know that Florida also requires everybody to have identification, which is state law.
So you have to have identification on you at all times?
When the officer threatens jail for refusing to move along, the situation crosses into coercion. Ordering a person to leave a public space without legal justification is not lawful. The threat of arrest is used as leverage to force compliance, not to enforce any actual statute. This tactic chills free expression and discourages citizens from knowing their rights. Public sidewalks are not police-controlled zones. Authority does not override the Constitution.
It's state law. Look it up.
He's a lieutenant in the sheriff's office?
Yeah. Even better. All right. How are you? Yeah. Right. Sir. He had to take pictures of the prison inmates. Don't want to produce ID.
Why are you doing that, sir?
Verify who
I've explained to the officers.
No, explain it to me.
I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing is I'm a journalist gathering content for story. Investigative journalist gathering content for a story. And beyond that, investigative journalist gathering content for a story. If I'm not being detained, I'm not going to produce any ID. It's none of y'all's business who I am. It's none of y'all's business what I'm doing. It's an investigative story.
You need to produce something. Don't tell me it's none of my business. You had to taking pictures of a correctional facility.
That's right.
And we want to know why.
And I was taking pictures of the inmates right there. I've just explained to you why. I'm an investigative journalist gathering content for a story.
Produce the investigative journalist ID as well.
This is my identification. A number I can call.
The claim of a potential security issue is vague and unsupported by facts. Reasonable, articulable suspicion requires more than imagination or hypothetical fears. Photography of public-facing areas, even correctional facilities, has long been upheld as lawful. Officers cannot invent suspicion after the fact to justify detention. This misuse of investigative language shows a misunderstanding or disregard of constitutional standards. Rights cannot be suspended based on what-if scenarios.
A number I can call or something.
Like I said, it's none of your business. Unless I'm being detained, I'm not producing the ID. And as a matter of fact, if I'm free to go, have a nice day. Am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go.
I'm not free to go. So I'm being detained.
No, sir, I need to see my ID.
Okay, well, if I'm not being detained, have a nice day.
I need to see my ID.
Sir, I'm either being detained or I'm free to go. Either one.
You're actually committing obstruction right now by not giving us an ID.
Okay, what's going to happen if I don't produce ID at this point? What will happen?
I'm waiting on that.
I'm not refusing.
Or standing on the sidewalk.
He was alleged to have been in the parking lot. Now, I personally didn't see it. I didn't see it, so I don't know. When I came out and encountered him, he was on the side.
Am I being detained or am I free to go? It's one or the other.
No, I need to see my ID.
Officer.
I'm
sorry, Lieutenant.
He got this off YouTube. Exact same subject, did this exact same thing on YouTube.
Right, this is
comical. And then he wants to write about it. And
the arrival of supervisors does not improve the situation. Instead, it reinforces the same flawed logic. Rather than correcting the initial officer, they double down on unlawful detention and ID demands. Supervisory presence should bring accountability and clarity, not escalation. Their refusal to clearly state whether the individual is detained reveals procedural confusion. This indecision itself becomes a violation. Citizens should not be trapped in legal limbo.
It's because you guys are infringing on my First Amendment rights. This is a public sidewalk. This is constitutionally protected activity. I've explained to you that I'm a journalist.
And you never
were
set foot off the sidewalk?
I have never set foot off the sidewalk.
You would have an ID tag. You would have something.
I do have an ID tag, but what I'm telling you is it's none of your business. I'm not producing ID unless I'm being detained.
For security purposes, yes.
Sir, there's also a gentleman. He recorded down there. Yeah, he's recording right down the road. He has a camera.
Am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go.
So I'm being detained.
You're not free to go.
I'm not free to go.
Okay, this is not a public building.
That's not a public building.
It's not
a state correctional institution, man.
Okay,
You're Tiffany
and for
Parsons?
Yes, Tiffany Parsons.
What's your badge number?
37, Gadsden County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you.
Phone number 627-9233.
Relax.
And if you need anything
Relax.
further, I can give it to you.
Relax.
This is a security issue because
This
we
is
have
a First
prisoners
Amendment
in
issue.
here.
This is a constitutionally protected right, safeguarded by the First Amendment.
Once you come off the side,
The repeated refusal to answer direct questions about reasonable suspicion is telling. When officers cannot articulate a crime, they rely on authority and volume instead of law. Pleading the fifth sarcastically in response to constitutional questions shows contempt for the oath they took. This behavior reflects poorly on the entire department. Silence and deflection are not substitutes for lawful justification. Accountability requires answers, not attitude.
sidewalk, it's a security
I've never been off the
issue.
sidewalk. Have you seen me off the sidewalk? Have you witnessed me on their property?
Videotapes. Can
Go
you guys
request
get
it.
a sergeant or a lieutenant and let's just view the videotapes?
I have my chief of security in there.
Okay, because if you step
I never stepped off the sidewalk.
we have a big issue.
I never stepped foot off the sidewalk. I've been on the sidewalk the whole time. If I'm free to go, have a nice day.
You're not free to go
So I'm being detained.
temporarily.
For what reason? What's your reasonable articulable
Because I'm
suspicion?
conducting an investigation.
Based on what? What am I doing that's
I'm
illegal?
conducting an investigation.
What's your
and
reasonable-
my badge says that I can.
What's your reasonable
and
articulable
you will
suspicion?
Be quiet.
What is your reasonable
I'm conducting
articulable
an
suspicion?
investigation.
Based on
I'm
what?
conducting an investigation based on
What
a potential security issue.
Potential security issue.
Potential security issue. That's right.
I've explained to
Until
you-
I see the tapes, I have right to see the tapes. And after I see the tapes,
So you got to
if
detain me until you see the tapes.
Can you shut up long enough for me to finish talking?
That's not very nice.
I don't give a damn.
The detention stretches on far beyond what could ever be considered reasonable. Time becomes a punishment used to pressure compliance. Holding someone while waiting to review tapes without clear suspicion turns an investigative stop into an unlawful seizure. Rights delayed are rights denied. The Constitution does not allow convenience-based detention. Prolonged stops without cause erode the rule of law.
Okay.
Until I see the videotapes, I am officially conducting an investigation. Once I view them and I see that you never step foot on this property, you are free to go.
What's your reasonable articulable suspicion that I stepped foot on that property? What's your reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime? Did you take an oath upholding and defend the Constitution of the United States, ma'am? Are you aware that this is a First Amendment right? Are you remaining silent?
I am pleading the fifth. How about that? Isn't that great?
That's great.
I can't drive because I've never been.
We've got your white vehicle from St. Johns County, and I have all of your driver's license information. Your license is, in fact, disqualified. Now that I have both of your information, the warden of this property wants you officially trespassed. Do both parties understand and acknowledge that you are trespassed from this property from this point forward?
The sudden shift to trespassing after failing to justify the detention appears retaliatory. Trespass warnings cannot be used to cover up earlier misconduct. A public sidewalk cannot retroactively become restricted property to justify police actions. This move feels less like law enforcement and more like face-saving. Using administrative tools to silence lawful activity is abuse of power. Transparency is replaced with punishment.
I have a property receipt for you, sir, because your phone was found and I'm turning it over to you.
Okay.
Here is your property receipt. Glad to get that back to you. Glad we could identify both of you. You have officially been trespassed from the property again. I'm iterating that for the second, third, and fourth
Me?
time.
I'm trespassing?
You are trespassed, Mr. Thomas James Covenant and Mr. Jeffrey Gray from St. Johns County, St. Augustine. You're trespassed as well. Okay?
I understand.
Okay.
Paperwork?
So go ahead and go back to your car and put the keys in there.
The female Gaston County Sheriff's Deputy said that my license was disqualified, and she basically dared me to go get in my car, start it up, and drive off. Well, look what I'm doing. She's sitting across the street watching us. So,
The mention of license status and implied encouragement to drive adds another troubling layer. If true, it reflects recklessness. If false, it reflects intimidation. Either way, it demonstrates poor judgment and disregard for public safety. Law enforcement should prevent violations, not bait them. Such behavior damages credibility and raises serious ethical concerns. Professionalism demands restraint and honesty.